Look at your life right now. Think about the things you do every single day without even trying. You wake up, you grab your phone, you scroll through social media, you drink your coffee. You don't need motivation to do these things. You don't need a discipline coach to remind you to check your notifications. Why? Because these actions have become automated. They are hardwired into your biology. Now, think about the things you actually want to do. Going to the gym, studying for that certification, building that side business. Why does it feel like you are fighting a world-class heavyweight champion just to get started? Most people think the answer is willpower. They think they are just weak. But science tells a different story. The reason you fail isn't that you lack discipline. It is that you are trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. You are focusing on intensity when you should be focusing on architecture. In this video, we are stripping away the motivational fluff. We are going deep into the neural pathways of your brain to show you how to turn discipline from a painful struggle into a background process that runs on autopilot. But before we break down the hardware of your brain, I want to ask you something. What is the one habit that you have started and quit at least 5 times in your life? Is it the diet? The early wake-up call? Write it down in the comments below. Let's look at our collective failures so we can start building the solution. If you are tired of being a slave to your impulses and you are ready for a systematic upgrade, you are in the right place. This is Born Through Pain. Welcome to the architecture of the new you. Let's identify the main enemy, the all-or-nothing fallacy. In the United States, we are obsessed with the Big Bang theory of self-improvement. We wait for January 1st. We wait for Monday morning. We decide that today is the day we change everything. We are going to work out for 2 hours, eat nothing but chicken and broccoli, and read 50 pages of a book. And it works for about 3 days. By Thursday, your body hurts, your brain is exhausted, and the couch looks like paradise. Here is the scientific reason why this fails. Your brain has a primary directive: survival through energy conservation. Change is expensive. Massive change is an emergency. When you try to overhaul your entire life in 24 hours, you trigger the amygdala. This is the ancient part of your brain responsible for the fight-or-flight response. To the amygdala, a sudden, intense change in your routine feels like a threat. It doesn't know you are trying to get six-pack abs. It thinks you are starving or under extreme stress. So, it does its job. It floods your system with signals that make you crave comfort. It makes the old you feel safe and the new you feel dangerous. This is why intensity is the enemy of longevity. If you start too fast, you are literally screaming at your brain to stop you. Discipline isn't about the giant leap. It is about making the change so small, so microscopic, that your amygdala doesn't even notice you are moving. To understand how to automate discipline, you have to understand the hardware. You are not just a mind, you are a biological computer. Every thought you have, every movement you make is the result of neurons firing electrical signals to one another. Imagine your brain is a massive, dense rainforest. When you do something for the first time, let's say you try to code a program or play the guitar, you are trying to walk through that rainforest. The vines are thick, the ground is uneven. It takes a massive amount of energy just to move 1 yard. This is why new habits feel physically and mentally exhausting. You are literally hacking a path through the jungle. However, if you walk that same path tomorrow, the vines are already pushed aside. The day after that, the ground is a little flatter. This process is called long-term potentiation. The more 2 neurons fire together, the stronger the bond between them becomes. But there is a secret ingredient that turns a dirt path into a superhighway. It is a substance called myelin. Think of myelin as electrical insulation for your brain. It is a fatty sheath that wraps around the axons of your neurons. When you repeat an action consistently, your brain starts to wrap that circuit in myelin. Why does this matter? because a myelinated neural pathway can carry electrical signals up to 100 times faster than an uninsulated one. This is the automation we are looking for. When a habit is heavily myelinated, it no longer requires the prefrontal cortex, the logical, effort-filled part of your brain, to function. It moves to the basal ganglia, the part of the brain responsible for patterns and efficiency. This is the biological definition of discipline. It is the transition from forced effort to myelinated automation. And the only way to get that myelin is through high-frequency repetition, not intensity, repetition. Now that you understand the biology of myelin, you can see why most people fail. They focus on the heat of the moment, not the rhythm of the days. Imagine two guys. We will call the first one the sprinter. He wakes up on Monday, watches 3 motivational videos, and spends 4 hours at the gym. He destroys his muscles. He feels like a warrior. But on Tuesday, he can barely move. On Wednesday, he makes an excuse. By Friday, his neural pathway is already covered in weeds again. The myelin never had a chance to grow. The second guy is the architect. He is the 1% man. He goes to the gym for only 15 minutes, but he does it every single morning at 7 a.m. On days he is tired, he still goes, even if he just stretches. To the outside world, the sprinter looked more impressive on Monday. But biology doesn't care about impressive. Biology cares about predictable. The architect is feeding his brain a constant signal. By the end of the first month, his brain has started to automate the process. Putting on his gym shoes has become as natural as breathing. He isn't using willpower anymore. He is using hardware. This is the secret of the elite. They don't have more willpower than you. They just have thicker myelin. They have built an environment where their brain would actually feel uncomfortable not doing the work. That is the level of automation we are aiming for. So, how do you start your own 1% daily evolution? You need to follow 3 scientific laws of habit architecture. Law number 1, the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. If you want to read more, your habit is read 1 page. If you want to run, your habit is put on my running clothes. I know, it sounds too simple. Your ego will tell you that it is useless, but remember our enemy, the amygdala. By making the task tiny, you sneak past the brain's defense system. You are not trying to change your life yet. You are just establishing the neural circuit. Once the circuit is built, you can increase the intensity, but you cannot improve a habit that doesn't exist. Law number 2, never miss twice. In the journey of discipline, perfection is a fantasy. You will have a bad day, you will get sick, you will have an emergency. But here's the rule. Missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. When you miss a day, you are allowing the old, lazy neural pathways to start taking over again. You must fight to get back on track immediately. If you can't do the full workout, do 1 push-up. Just do something to signal to your brain that the highway is still open. Law number 3, environment design. Your brain is a master at responding to cues. If you want to automate a habit, make it obvious. If you want to work out in the morning, put your gym clothes right next to your bed so you step on them when you wake up. If you want to stop scrolling your phone, put it in a different room. Discipline is much easier when you don't have to fight your environment. An automated man builds a world that makes the right choices easy and the wrong choices hard. The most powerful part of the 1% evolution is the compound effect. If you get 1% better every day, you don't just get 365% better in a year. Because of compound interest, you actually become 37 times better. But this requires a shift in your identity. Most people say, I am trying to be disciplined. That language is dangerous. It implies that being disciplined is not who you are. It implies that you are a lazy person who is pretending to be a hard worker. You need to shift the narrative. When you complete your 2-minute habit, tell yourself, this is what a disciplined person does. Every small action is a vote for the person you want to become. You are not trying to work out. You are an athlete in training. You are not trying to write. You are a writer. You are not trying to quit cheap dopamine. You are a man who values his focus. When your identity changes, your brain stops fighting the change and starts protecting it. This is the final stage of automation. It is no longer something you do. It is who you are. Let's wrap this up with the core takeaways. First, stop chasing intensity. It is a fake metric for your ego. Focus on frequency. Second, use the 2-minute rule to bypass your brain's fear response. Third, never miss twice. Protect your neural highways at all costs. And fourth, shift your identity. Every small win is a vote for your future self. Discipline is not a cage. It is the key to the cage. It is the only thing that will eventually set you free from your own impulses and the cheap dopamine traps of the modern world. The path is narrow, but you don't have to walk it alone. Stay logical. Stay disciplined. Born through pain. I will see you in the next one.